I think it looks strange.
Good afternoon to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up? How's the night? How was the night? Just wondering. Anonym, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm not talking yet. I am actually just doing something, trying to figure out how to read the comment at the same time, but doing that on a separate browser. Yeah, doing that on a separate browser on my system is kind of making the system lag. So trying to see if I can log in on my phone and then yeah, then I'll be able to read the comments, I guess. Yes, so welcome to today's live trading section. And yesterday I couldn't come on live because there was power interruption. I don't know if it's just me, but there was no power completely throughout yesterday. Woke up and I was really mad because that happened. I was really prepared to come on live from 8 a.m. But then when there is no power, I really can't come live because then I'll be using my mobile data and that is completely too expensive. Um, so I could not make it yesterday. And then today I came the first few minutes, they took the power again. I was just about to, like give up and then it came back. So yep, and I know. Someone is about to tell me to get an inverter. Yep. Someone is about to tell me to get an inverter. I'm working on it. I am working on it. So, what are you guys trading today? What's going on? What are you trading? Thank you so much, Pinky. Thank you for liking and sharing. Let me also share the live section to the Telegram channel. I don't know what is wrong. I think I need to create a new account on this one. Uh, I'm gonna leave now. I did do something. I don't feel concentrate for the talk. So I'm currently on a trade on this 75 index. Currently on this trade on this 75 index. I entered before I sleep or before I slept, and I woke up. It was already in profit, and it was really that precise though. It was one of those very precise ones. I think this is better because I should be able to see myself. VFX. Ah, oh boy. Because this is something. See, this is the reason why I had to be seeing it on the other phone. Because I will not be able to monitor what are we learning. I'm here to pray though, but you can learn if you find something interesting. I think now we're good. And also, from time to time, I will have to switch my face because, from like I said, from what I found, that is the reason why they are taking down a lot of accounts. Okay, they're taking down a lot of accounts because many people are scamming. Most of those faceless trading channels that you are seeing are those ones that come to show you profit and then tell you to come and invest and all that. Uh-huh. So in most cases, they are all here to scam. So for that reason, TikTok have decided to do away with every African trader. I say I see live traders outside country, but so far you're African, they just assume that you're a scammer and they take you down. So we will be from time to time. I'll just switch to my camera, my face, and all that, or I can do something like that. Not sure. Yeah, something like that could work so that they will know that I am not here to scam anybody. long that is, I'll have to set this every time I do a switch. But it's all good. Anyways, let me explain to you guys how I am able to get this, and probably actually let me forward this to the Telegram group channel first. Um, before they'll see I am not giving them. Uh, all right, so quickly, just so you guys know, we are live on Telegram as well as on TikTok. Sorry, we're live on YouTube, Twitch, and also TikTok. So if you miss any explanation or any analysis, you can always, let me get a link now. Copy link address. So the two link to YouTube and Telegram are both sent to what's it called? They're both sent to the Telegram channel now. And if you miss any analysis, like I said, you can always do a replay on YouTube. The reason for that is I don't want to be going over and over again on analysis that I've already made or that I've already made. So you should, if you miss out on any analysis and I tell you that hey, it's on the Telegram or sorry, it's on the YouTube page, you can just go to the YouTube page and you can be sure to have whatever it is that you're looking for on there. That way, I will not have to be talking too much and like getting tired very frequently because that happened yesterday. So let's check USDJPY. Alright, I'll do that for you. Then I'll come back to explain how I was able to get those entries yesterday and also this entry today on volatility indices 75 1s. Alright, so that said, let's kick it up with our first request of today, which is USDJPY. Let's see what's going on with USDJPY. Alright, so yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I'm not sure when I did this analysis, but I can remember saying that the only reason why you would want to look for a buy at this region was if it gives you a confirmation entry, right? That's why you see this thing here. Okay, it should only be a confirmation entry here, and someone might say that was this not a break of structure or a change of character on the lower time frame, blah blah? Yes, it's a change of character, but then it happened outside your POI. Alright, a change of character, but it happened outside your POI. This is the POI, so definitely this is the place that you are marking. The fact that it has already broken to the downside tells you that the market is still very very strong on the downtrend, making this trade invalid. Another reason is that if you would like to call this place a protected low, what confirms it as a protected low is if it goes to break the structure to the upside. All right, so there was a break of structure to the opposite of it. And how do you tell which is a break of structure or which is a change of character? Hold on a minute. So if there was a break of structure to the upside, it makes this low a strong low. But since there is no break of structure, it means it is respecting this formation, which makes this one now a change of character. All right, a change of character, and then a pullback for a continuation. What I don't like is how consolidative it was moving towards this area. So I guess maybe you would be looking at it as an internal structure that might be respected, and that's the reason why you really needed that confirmation entry. And if there is no confirmation, then there is no trade. Meaning this too is invalid. Like I said, this is the drawing that I made here yesterday, or not yesterday, I think day before yesterday when we did the analysis. This was the sign that I placed here. I said for those who are looking for buys, make sure you have like a confirmation before you get involved. Now that said, since this is done, this is just showing you that there is a high pressure to the downside, because as you can see the market has been respecting selling order flow so far. And if you zoom out a lot, you see that even though it is going down, it is going down in a respective manner, like it is respecting all the highs and all that. So now you can extend this one out, knowing that it could come back to take all this as liquidity. Preferably I would like it to approve this one, because it is like the last reasonable reaction. um Actually, first zone will be this. Let me take these drawings out. This one is of no use anymore. So now first liquidity to target will be this one. So if you target this liquidity, and inside this area you could see like a change of character, and then you can decide to get involved in a sell. It's either that or it does the same thing somewhere here. All right, the preferred one to target will be this one. When the market is coming back, the preferred one to target will be this one. Why? Because it is coming from external. It's coming from an external break. You guys remember when I was talking about external and internal break? So let's say I am looking for a sell inside of this area. All right, so let's say I'm looking for a sell inside of this area. First thing I will be looking for will first of all be a break of the structure. After this break of this structure, so far this low is not yet tapped, or so far the liquidity contained this liquidity. So far none of them has been taken. So far I have not seen any move for liquidity within this zone. It means that a pullback above this one would be valid. Pullback above this one would be valid. But then the moment I step out of this range, and the range I'm talking about is everything contained from here to let me just- here, fine. So everything contained from that low to this high, everything contained from that low to this high becomes internal. All right. So far this liquidity is not yet taken, then this one could be respected on a pullback. All right. But then the moment this liquidity, or the moment there is this break of structure to that side, coming back now, you are looking at everything inside, not just all this internal structure anymore. So when the market was still playing here, you could have been doing this as break structure, but that break of structure will be valid with respect to this one. So you frame the internal structure until the external structure is broken. The moment the external structure is broken, your pullback should always be like, you should be targeting some reasonable liquidity. Another way to do that will be to draw your Fibonacci from the beginning to the end, right? From the beginning. And for me, I use the week. A lot of people, I keep getting these questions that is it a week that you use or the body? For me, I use the week, because you cannot talk about a reaction from a place without like putting into consideration everything that happened within that zone. And the week are part of the story. So I use the week for those who are planning to ask those questions. I use the week, and then once I drop my Fibonacci, I would like to see a retracement to above 50%. That's the first criteria, a retracement to above 50%. And you guys can see that this meets the criteria. Now, 50% is not the only thing. So let me draw that, and let me label that as 50%. So my 50% should be around this area. But then 50% is not the only thing that I should be looking for. After 50%, 50% is just telling you that okay, at this point, if you start seeing a change of character, then you can take a trade. But then another thing that we add to spice up our information is reasonable liquidity. So above this 50%, I would like to see a reasonable liquidity get taken. All right. So let me explain how I am able to detect that this one is a reasonable liquidity. Now, when the market is breaking structure to the downside, all right, when the market is going to break the structure to the downside, your protected low with respect to this formation would have been somewhere around here. The premium protected low would have been, hey Razi, good morning. All right, would have been somewhere around here. That's your premium protected low. All right, and now the most reasonable reaction to this low would be, this is the origin of the most reasonable reaction to this low. So that the origin of that trade or of that reaction becomes your liquidity, because you just see that like this is the last liquidity, also that this is the last reaction before there was a break of structure. So the origin of that last reaction becomes your last liquidity. So I would like to see a pullback above this area, then I will start looking for a change of character. So once there is a pullback above this reasonable liquid account structure, your account may be at risk. Okay, so click. All right, so once there is a pullback above that reasonable liquidity, at that point I can delete all this one. If it taps this final liquidity, that is a plus. But if it doesn't, then there is really, it doesn't have to go all the way to that one. But then what you want to watch out for is a change of character above that reasonable liquidity. All right, so now there is a tap above here. It is above 50%. That's second confirmation. It is above reasonable liquidity, third confirmation, and then it is very very close to our POI. Why I call this a POI is like it is the most discounted level that you can find in the market. But you guys will notice that sometimes that most discounted level does not get tapped. All right, you can see this one too. Most discounted level never got tapped. And you might want to say, okay, in this case now, where do I see a reasonable liquidity? Well, that is the reasonable liquidity, this one. All right. But one thing that you can see now is that on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that it was like a pull to liquidity inside here. So you can say that this one was able to take care of business behind it before breaking this structure to the downside. All right, it took care of that business internally behind it. So in cases like this, you would want to also include this in your time. Any liquidity content inside of this layer should be part of what you are looking for. Now it gets even more difficult because after a tap into that liquidity, I like to see a change of character, like an internal shift. But in this case, it didn't really give you an opportunity for you to catch this trade, unless if you wanted to get in a direct entry. And you guys know that if I want to enter a trade based on direct entry, I would like for it to get to my final liquidity. Like it should go above this one, since it is coming from the outside. And since that did not happen, I probably would have missed this trade. Another way you can capitalize on this is using this as an order block. Let's see that order block, this candle, the order block. Knowing that there is this liquidity pool, you can have that there and have everything that is inside of this area part of what we are looking at. And a way to enter would be with candlestick confirmation, or let's say an internal, say 5 minutes or 1 minute change of character. That would be a good way to enter. So if you wanted to take this trade, when you saw this engulfing candle and the second engulfing candle, you could have been able to enter based on that candle. Stop loss will be a little bit around that area because you don't want it to go all the way there, and then you can target like 1 to 3 somewhere around there. All right. Although I did not take that trade, I'm just using it to explain what I mean by reasonable liquidity. Again, this is another example. So when there is this break of structure, you want to see the market pull back above reasonable liquidity. In this case, using Fibonacci becomes a little bit there is no need, because you can already visualize what the market have done, and you can already tell that any move above this area should already be above 50%. So there is no point stressing yourself out. And like I said, muscle memory, once you have started doing this for a long time, you start seeing it like um it becomes second nature. You don't really need to be drawing boxes. In most cases, the reason why I draw boxes is because I just like seeing them and seeing that, okay, it's not just a thought, it's something that I actually uh, projected, and then it's working. All right. So again, this is another one. Look for that final liquidity. This is a case where I could use direct entry for my entries. Now, in this case, it didn't tap into that area, but at least it went above reasonable liquidity. So now you would want to first of all see a change of character and then pull back into that zone. All right, into the zone. Now, for a reaction like this, that the liquidity inside is all the way down here, what I like to do is to use the other block. All right, the other block contained in the space, and then you can use that as, you know, an entry stop loss above that zone, and then you can target your 1 to 3, which shouldn't be too far, should be somewhere around there. Now it's either that or you use the change of character formula, which is like the most safe one. It is the most safe one because it gives you confirmation. But what that does is, instead of entering a trade almost at a very very safe area, you would have to wait for the change of character, and this is what I'm talking about. So first of all, you look out for liquidity grab, and then a change of this character somewhere around there. Change of that character, and then a pullback into this area, preferably liquidity again. You can see same thing, same thing. So you could have entered here, but in this case now, your stop loss, if it has to be at the same area, would be a little bit larger. Or if you have the boss, you can actually put your stop loss above this one, like that. All right, so this becomes your entry, and then your SL is all the way down here. Now you'll be targeting something down there. I don't know. Now that is done again, and now we have a new break of structure to the downside. So you're following the same order flow. All right, internally you can see that there is a break of structure. Again, explaining the concept of that internal break of structure and external break of structure. If this trade was yet to exit this zone, if it was yet to go beyond this level and is pulling back, so let's assume that this trade I'm about to take, or that I was looking for, is happening when there was this break of structure to the downside. So there's this break of structure to the downside here. So we're talking about this one, which means this trade, this one, should already have met your criteria, or should have gotten to the target of that. Because the target of this move after this change of character is to come and, continue this push to the downside. But then all this area is still open for negotiation. All this area is still a zone where the market can still buy back on, because whether you like it or not, um, this might be internal, but if you were considering just this area, that might also be seen as a infrastructure, whatever that you want to do. All right, but then since it is coming from a higher time frame objective, there is a higher chance that this low is the target. All right, there is a higher chance that this low is target. So what I do in cases like this is, when I enter a trade, first thing first, I put my projection to 1 to 3. All right, so 1 to 3, that's it, and then I draw a line around there just to signify that this is my 1 to 3, and then I can make that CP1. All right, CP1, so I know where to take my first profit, and then I can target the next reasonable zone. So from my plotting, I can already see that this place could be a place that will give me headache. Why? Because it is the last liquidity, or where, what you would call a discounted area if you were taking a trade from that region. All right. The only thing that makes it weak is the fact that it did not break structure. Oh my god! Is the fact that it did not break structure to the upside. So if you would have gone above this one, you would have been cool to call it like a strong blow. Since it did not go above this level, you want to trade lightly with it, and also trade only with a confirmed change of character. So your second target will be that, or even below it, all right? Because again, it's a weak low, so it is assumed to give way, and that is how you would have been able to get yourself like 1 to 7, 1 to 5, preferably 1 to 3, because you took your first profit at 1 to 3, right? Now that that is done and the market is coming back from outside, and this is what I am trying to explain here. The market is now going to be coming back from outside this formation, all right? So if it is coming back from outside this formation, your new sample space becomes from here, which is the origin of this formation there. From here to here is your newest sample space. All right, from here to here, everything that happened from the base here to here becomes your newest sample space. Now you ask yourself, what the last reaction to this place that you would have considered the protected low if it was going to be respected? What what's the last reasonable reaction, right? The one thing to do would be to pull up your Fibonacci, then for 50% area, which means that going above this one, this line that I just drew, is already a good enough sign that the market might respect and continue going. So what you are projecting in your mind now will be a pullback from anywhere it decides to pull back from into somewhere around the 50%. Preferably for me, I would like to go above something like this because that would be a reasonable liquidity to take. All right, you guys will know that when this market was coming, your first protected low or whatever you want to call it will be this one. This is the first one that was violated from here to here. This is the first one that was violated, and the reaction to it, which is this one now. All right. So the reaction to this area that you would have called a protected low or a POI if you wanted to take a trade with respect to this one. This is the reaction to it. That reaction comes liquidity to take. All right. So I can name that liquidity, not 50%. Liquidity to target. So I would expect the market to pull back into that zone. So anything, and the reason why you see me using box is because the box also tells me from the origin to the end. So I don't need to be looking back to see whether there is a um, where the line is or anything. That's why I'm using this box now. Usually, you guys know me with lines and all that, but the more you analyze, the more you try to make life simple for yourself. And yeah, I found out that a box will show both the entry point and also the exit point. So I don't need to be looking back every time that I'm about to take a trade with respect to APOI. Right. So again, I will be looking to see market come into this area, which will tell me that it has gone above the liquidity, and then I will look to short from there to continue this trend that the market is doing. All right, and that is a long time from home because the market is currently down here. So now that all this is done, and you know that there's a break of structure to the downside, and you know that in a selling market condition, you don't want to be looking for buys, right? But there is also a safer way to look for buys. That will be to look back in time again. Right, this is a 15-minute time frame. To do that, you can go to like the 30-minute time frame or even the 1 hour time frame to look at what is reasonable. All right, you look back in time on a higher time frame to see what is reasonable. You are taking all these trades knowing that the reason why there is so much reaction to this one is because at first it was coming from this low. All right, last liquidity, you always expect that there will be a reaction. And why is that? Because it is a strong low. It was able to break strong structure to the upside. Yes, and not just that, it took a lot of liquidity behind it before doing all that. So you can see that this pair has been respecting zones so far, and if you were paying attention to all that, you would have made a lot of money from this pair. It is everywhere. The signs are everywhere. All right, so reacted to that order flow, and you could have gotten that by there. So following that order flow again, you expect that after I tap into this area, you expect a change of character. It gave you a change of character there. So if you were looking for buys all along, you are not wrong. You are doing the right thing. There's a change of character. After a change of character, you like to see the liquidity inside of that zone. Now you can see that liquidity got tapped. But the premium one, right? The premium one would be let me show for my phone here. Online activity. I know.
TikTok since. You don't use TikTok.
I play on YouTube and this thing, I don't know for my phone. But
This one I look.
no, which one?
This one I look.
Now TikTok now why I don't know say life don't end now. See say this one just dey. This one not dey do noise cancellation. I'm not really sure say this one will tire. You dey see me online. So you see me online now. Why you dey just dey say I dey now? But dey no true. I just dey follow the code like ah how do you know all of this? Disappointment. Oh, I just think say they do see account wey I just create now until they use take monitor. They don't comot am again. Wetin you talk? Make this link to another account. Then log in now. See the all these people. That's it. Verify my email address. Thank you so much, I'm TJ. TikTok and their wahala again. I'm even surprised that this account is still standing, to be honest. Because I saw so tear they just did tear the account before. So I am really surprised. Oh, sh- welcome back. Sorry about that. Yeah, you tell me say don't lose 7,800 XR. I never reply. Never reply on first. So days there. So later I will do that.
They say here. You tell them say you know when.
Eh? I don't tell her. So what am I?
Tell them that you are not okay. You know say your phone dey always dey on. So you know. well and well, I'm not down yet.
Don't do.
Still fighting it.
I'm on that account I create. I do mistake though. The one where I've been used to money so this thing. I do mistake. Save this. Right, I think this should be good now. Add basically these people they get wahala. The way they will just guys sorry I beg let me create a new account that I can use to monitor the comment section. So now they just break the flow of
Why is it trust?
it's pause now. Now it like now the last it's pause. I think they worry these people now. I think
Yeah,
they
I'm trying to.
frustrate you, it will frustrate you. I'm not happy. I see the difference between these two. Yes. new platform for this one don't disturb me like TikTok don't disturb. So wahala. So wahala na you dey give. All platform. Ah, TikTok is just full of wahala, wahala, wahala. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. So, guys, welcome back. Please follow that backup account if you're here. The backup account I just commented. Follow the account also because we don't want to take chances anymore. We want to be ready if the account ever gets taken down. So I think I don't know. Let me check if it's on YouTube. Yeah, everything is still okay on YouTube and on Twitter. There are about two people on YouTube right now. There are about two people on YouTube right now. Let me see if I can also read their messages. 'Cause YouTube. Alright, so two people on YouTube. Yep, no messages. So we're good. So again, if you're not here from the beginning, you can check back or check on YouTube to see what we have been doing or what we have been saying. So for that guy that requested for USD JPY, I hope you're still here. Uh, Now I was talking about this zone and why respecting this zone was important. Using the order flow or using the order flow that is coming, you can say that this one broke structure internally, all right, internally, and then the internal structure is being respected. Remember, it is internal because it's broke the structure to the upside here, or what you would call change of character. Yes, change of character, whatever, any name that you want to give it. But the most important thing is that it took care of business, took care of liquidity before breaking structure to the other side, making it a valid um, POI to target. And you can see that after the market came back to this area, it reacted to it and then went ahead to go and cause a change or should I say, a break of structure to the upside. So it is still following that order flow at this point. Now, since this one is also coming from the outside, you expect that this one will be respected, or anything inside of this area will be respected. All right, so that will be from here. Where is it? From here, because that's the last reaction to this low, because that's the final stop, should be respected. All right, and you can see that the market did react to it already. All right, if you were looking for a trade, you probably would have gotten yourself a trade at this point. And this is why drawing out your order flow or pointing out your order flow is very, very important. All right, pointing out your order flow is very, very important because that will tell you when the market is coming back into an area that is already mitigated. You will know that it is just going to fake you out, even if it is giving you a sign that is about to go in your favor. That there is a high chance that that is just going to be a fake out. All right, having that in mind, you can say, okay, this is now coming from external and no longer regarding this one. Okay, so if it is coming from the external, it comes from there. Let me actually share the new link because the old one has unfortunately damaged. This one has been damaged, so the new one is sent to Telegram channel. And again, following everything that we've been saying, since this is now coming from, you know, outside of this one, and everything from here to here, everything involved from here to here is now considered one piece, then you would want to see a move above all these reactions, preferably this one. So again, if the market is coming back, I'd like to see something that goes all the way to that one. That is that is to tell you now that in this whole region, or in this whole, you know, whatever happened in this whole region, you have only two places where you should be looking for a trade from for now. All right, since you are not reacting to any other new, because all this one has already been taken, so don't go and be looking for, you know, some OB inside the region. Following this other flow, you can see that this one connected with this one connected with this one, this one connected with this one. That's to tell you that there is sufficient mitigation in all of this zone. All right, so this one is mitigated, this one is mitigated, this one is mitigated, and also now this is just like a break of structure and nothing more. And since there is a break of structure, don't be looking for, you know, some hidden OB here that you should. Even if there is a hidden OB, it is already mitigated. You guys see that this place that was not tapped before. If I zoom in, right? If I zoom in, you see that there is this final liquidity that was never tapped before, and even that one too was reacted to. So if you drag this thing across, you see that look, it was respected already. All right. So if you're looking for the final liquidity, let's say that that is what made you miss out of this trade here, and you're looking at this one as premium liquidity. Let me zoom in. Where is this one turning off? All right. So let's say that this final leg of liquidity was what would have made you miss out on this trade because you were not ready to use the OB like we always do. If you guys remember, we missed out on a lot of trades because we were waiting for final liquidity, or we wanted, you know, just to take the last liquidity or wherever. If I zoom in, you see that there's this reaction here before the break of this structure. So, like it or not, the fact that it was a complete formation means that this low should definitely be respected, or there should be a reaction to that low. All right. Instead that this, or there will be instead that this, or there will be a reaction to this low. There should definitely be a reaction to this low. And since it did not react to it on the first one, you can now see that that is the reason why this one will be, you know, a break, or what you call a structural formation, and then a retest, and then a buyback up. But we don't want to go deep into all this, you know, formation, because if you want to catch a trade, there's still an opportunity for you to catch the trade, even at this very very low point. If you look into this formation here, you definitely would have been able to see a trade. But let's not go too deep into all this, like internal liquidity and whatever. But all I'm trying to see here is that's the reason why you can see this reaction clearly here. And whether you like it or not, whether good or not, that's what has been able to push the market above liquidity. And then now we have the final break. The reason why I have to tell you all that is because you should not be here looking for another secret hidden OB or something. Like, yes, the market might do the same thing that it did here by reacting to this very last liquidity down there, but the chances of that happening, I don't know, it's very very low. All right, but so far all these areas have already been mitigated. I don't think it's even necessary for you to be looking at any final um, OB unless there is a change of character within that zone. All right, unless there is a my system is kind of lagging now. Unless there is change of character after touching this one, unless there is a change of character, then there is no point looking at it, because from everything that we have been looking, or from everything that we have been investigating so far, it is clear that all the lows have been mitigated, and everything that you are seeing now might just be a second mitigation, or whatever you want to call it. So definitely look for like a change of character if you are looking for a buyer at this area. definitely wait for a change of character. The ones that you can take with confidence right now are the sales, because that is where the direction of the market in the current market condition is. So you can see that the market is breaking structure to the downside. So the only trade that you can gladly take like a direct entry with will be either this one is already done, or that one that is up there. So it's either this or that. These are the two places where I will look to take a trade from. But if I have to take a trade here, it has to come from uh, a change of character. Oh, this one keeps switching now. Oh God. Don't get wahala, sha. Some people get. I don't understand. I don't know what is wrong. I might be understanding it. You looking out for sale? I knew I was not seeing the. I knew I was not seeing the comments. GU looking out for sales on daily time frame. Check out for GU, sir. Yeah. Hold on. Let's confess, serve. Let's see. Before Shedrack, there is MJ asking for GJ. All right. So let's look at that before we look at GU. So this is why I think on USD if you missed out from the beginning, sorry, because TikTok was just giving me a headache. I had to end the live section for a bit and then come back. Sorry, I did not end. It ended by itself. So and then come back. But then again, if you have any question about UJ, just go to the YouTube channel and you should be able to catch up from how we were able to come to this conclusion that we are looking for sales, or when there is a change of character here. There is a possibility that there will be a change of character. But remember, any change of character around here, I don't expect like a big buy. I expect just a short buy to our entry. That is, if you don't want, if it's only UJ you want to trade and you don't want to like compromise. If you have a change of character here, that's fine. You can buy back to the entry, but don't be looking for a moon buy in this area. Look for short entries and all that. Now up next is GJ, GBP, JPY. Alright, so for GBP, JPY, let's go to Forex. Let me see. I think we had a bit of an analysis here before. Let me see how that looks like. Again, we're looking for a change of character for a sell within this region. After this break of structure, what you expect is a sell back into, and you guys can see that this whole order flow thing is what my trading is based on, because I trade price action, and those are the things that just give me the reasons why I would want to take a trade. So now there is, based on this current structure on the 30 minutes, or I think I saw mine on the 15 minutes. All right. So based on this 15-minute formation, and since we are day traders, we don't really need to concern ourselves with too much information. 15 minutes is already good. It's after I am done with my analysis. You guys know how you come to the chart, you do your top-down analysis, you do everything that you want to do, and then because of, am I in a trade? I'm currently in a trade on V75 1S, and God is doing well because I've forgotten about it for so long. Right, so this is the only trade that I'm on currently. V75 1X again. Today I just started with the account. I took a withdrawal yesterday. You guys can see of that 60. I'll take this one aside. So yesterday I did something well, flipping a $5 account to 60, and then I withdrew. Now the account was left with $8, and that's the $8 that we are using today again. So let's see. As you guys always know, I like to play around with little money on volatility indices. It's just something that I like doing for fun. I like changing small money to big money. But we'll get back to this one. But to know which trade I am on, it's only this V75. All right, that I'm on. Back to GJ now. So now, ideally, what you want to be waiting for is a pullback into this liquidity point, and then you want to see a change of the structure that led to that POI. Then you look for a buy. The same thing, both up and down. If there is a change, like I said, if there is a change of character before this mitigation, all right. So with this change of character, let's say that this market wants to reverse back from here, all right. Since it has tapped back into this zone, I will say that this is now a change of character to the downside. All right, and I'll be looking for a selling opportunity from somewhere around this high. Okay, why? Because there is this change of internal protected low. And when I keep using these words, many people get confused and they keep asking internal protected low, external. It's still the same thing. It just depends on where you are trading from and where you are trading to. For me, I believe that this market was following a structure. All right, you can see it was following a structure until it broke out of this one. All right, so after breaking out of this one, you expect a pullback and still be maintaining. You expect it to be maintaining the same structure. All right, you expect it to be maintaining the same structure, which means that with respect to this internal structure, this low is protected, this one. All right, and that explains why it reacted to it this way. It reacted to this low this way, and then it pushed back. This is the reaction that you expect. You expected that if you took a trade here, your for continuation, you want to go and take out that high. But then it did what it could do, but decided that okay, since I'm coming from the outside, it is time for me to go and do some like deep retracement. And that is how you were able to see this break of structure, this final break of structure. All right. So you can call this one now a change of character instead of a break of structure because it did what it's not supposed to do, going below a trend or going below a structure. Now, another thing is that it took care of this business behind it, which makes this high now the high to pay attention to. So took care of this business, all right, behind it, and then they broke the structure to the lower end. All right. Now I would like to see a pullback immediately after this one. I'd like to see a pullback into this zone. But if you guys notice, it did not pull back into that zone, and then it continued breaking structure to the downside, right? Meaning it is leaving all this one as liquidity for later. So this becomes liquidity to take later because it is now creating a structure internally. So you can see that after it did this, it went for this liquidity. After going for this liquidity, whether you like it or not, whether it is external, internal, it doesn't really matter. After taking that liquidity up there, one thing you can tell for a fact is that it went ahead to break structure. So forgetting all this bigger time frame thing that you are looking at, forgetting that the market has to get back to this area, the fact that it attempted to go up and then it failed and broke structure to the downside tells you that it is not ready to do that final pullback that you are looking for yet. It is not time. All right. The final pullback could even go as much as going all the way to this one. Okay. So it is not ready to do that final pullback yet, and it just want to continue, just like the way it did this. All right. So you guys can see that after this push up, it never came back to this one, and then it just continued this internal structure. Break structure to the upside there. Look, there's this break of structure to the upside. It pull back into liquidity, and boom, it's sold from wherever it is that you wanted to sorry, it bought from where it was there. There's another one here, break of structure. All this one are internal, and then you could be using that to be cashing all those little trade until there's a change of character. That is where you use change of character, and this is where many people are just mistaking everything and using these words anyhow. Because change of character is okay. Change of character, break of structure. Change of character is different from break of structure, and break of structure is different from change of character depending on where you are looking at. right? Depending on what you are aiming at. And there should always be a reason and a point where you are looking for either change of character. And you can see that all these reactions that you are seeing in the market, they are not just coming out at random places. Yes, sometimes you see reactions happening at random places, all right? Sometimes you see reactions happening at random places, but in most cases, it doesn't. It's not like that. In most cases, it's not at random. Okay, in most cases it's happening for a reason, and you can see that it's always going after. You can even see that even in this internal liquidity, it came after, like, came inside of this zone. All right, this one also inside of this zone. So there is always a reason why all these things are reacting like that. And then again, you are looking at all those. You can now use this one as, the pullback becomes the liquidity. So you expected, a reaction towards that. Also, if you wanted to really investigate, this one is not even valid anymore, because this is the last low that was hanging. This one was able to pull back and took care of this business, making it a strong blow to contend with. So, and if there is a strong blow, then there is always going to be the possibility of a reaction, even if it is going to get violated at the end of the day. What you expect is a reaction, and this is what we are talking about. That's the reason why, if you can just zero your mind and say, okay, I am making direct entries only, all right, based on my reaction points, then you will always be able to get like a one-to-one even before, disaster strikes. All right, and you can see now that it is reacting to this one, because what, it is valid, very very valid. Guys, please don't forget to like. We have about 17 people here. At least let me see like 5k likes if I am making any sense and if I am offering value to you. Please take me to 5k likes. I will really appreciate that. Thank you so much as you do that. All right. So again, investigating all this, you can now see that there are like two places within this entire zone where it is reasonable enough to trade from. Obviously, this is a decisional area. Why? Because it is hanging above some other liquidity, and that explains why it reacted to it, gave the false impression that the market is about to buy here. So obviously, if you're buying, you have this one, you are protecting this low. It gave the false flag that the market is about to buy. It even give you what you might call a change of character, right? It gives you what you might call a change of character, because if you go down to like 5 minute time frame or a lower time frame, this would have probably excited a lot of people, and then they will be looking for a buy with respect to this one. All right. So they will be looking for a buy with respect to this one, and they'll be calling this one like a pull to, like, what do you call that in India? A retracement for a continuation. But that is where your knowledge of decisional areas, or liquidity areas, is key. Because now, if you investigated all this, you know that this one, since it's internal with respect to this break of structure, you can see that the movement came from here and then decided to break the structure. So everything that you see here, just like everything that you see here was internal with respect to this, everything that you now see from here to, everything that it was following before going outside, becomes internal liquidity with respect to this flow, which means the market should definitely give a reaction now that is inside this place, and you can see that reaction happening already. So how do you now enter a trade here? So you either look for, or wait for a change of character, which will mean that this market will have to go above this one, or you can use candlestick confirmation, something like this, maybe on the 15-minute time frame or the 5 minute time frame. You can use a close of a bold candle and use that as your entry. Stop loss still goes below the zone because you are marking that entire zone, or you can go down to 1 minute time frame to see a change of character and trade with it. Let's see if there is a change of character on the 1 minute time frame. Look, again, now that you are going down to 1 minute time frame, you can see that there is a mini change of character there, which means your entry should actually be here, because that's the liquidity that was left inside. My bad. That's the liquidity that was left inside of here. So with this 1 minute now, you can get like a more precise entry. There is a high chance. There is a high chance that it might never get to this level, and that's the reason why sometimes we want to forget about the liquidity and just use like the OB or something, just so you are safe. Because I mean, if you think about it, it is not really that far from your entry anymore. Just like a couple of pips, say from here to here, that's, yeah, 1.9 pips. So instead of losing an entire trade because you want the final liquidity, which is even showing only on the 1 minute, you might just stick to your 5 minute close of candle and just enter a trade like that. Your stop loss down here, all right. Your stop loss down here, and you can target your normal 1 to 3 for a start. So a 1 to 3 for this one will be from here to here, somewhere around there, which also now align with your goal. And the goal is what again? To go and actually give you a an official change of character. So this is just like you getting in early because you are paying attention to this area. But remember, like just like all this were liquidity for this one, all this could also be liquidity for this one down here. All right, all that could be liquidity for, you know, this one. All right, so depending on where you are trading from and what you are trading with respect to, all right, depending on where you are trading from and what you are trading with respect to, that is how you know, picture your liquidity. And does it mean that all these trades are wrong? No, they are not wrong. But then these are the type of trades that the moment you get like a 1 to 1 or a 1 to 2, you have to set your trade to break even. So if I was on this trade here, this is still a very good trade. You traded with confirmation and with everything. Like you traded with respect to a lot of things. So you were able to get a 1 to 2 with the reaction. So this is no longer a losing trade. This would have been a break-even trade. Let's say you were targeting your 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 or something. At least at 1 to 2, the trade should already be at break-even. Some people would have already, you know, like secured some. And in most cases, you guys would notice that we don't even hold our trades to um, complete take profit. So in most cases, most people would have already run out of this trade the moment it went above this one for a 1 to 2. Now, did I take that trade? No, I didn't. This is just me, you know, explaining what I would have done, all right, in this scenario. But now that after a tag into the zone, you saw a pushback of taking this one now as liquidity. You guys remember that going above this one makes this low a valid low with respect to that formation. All right. So you can now call this one, this formation here, a strong low, but it's only strong. All right. Everything actually is not everything that happened below. All right. So this one is not involved. So, but it's only strong with respect to this little formation here. And that's the mistake that we make a lot of times. We take a trade and we are not telling, like the moment we enter a trade, we want to see a 1 to 10. The moment we enter a trade, we want to see a 1 to 10, we want to see 1 to 50, we want to see like we want to use one trade to make millions. Yes, you can use one trade to make millions, but if you are not paying attention to where you are trading from, the chances of that happening is so low. All right. So you can now see that with respect to this one, this would have been another trade. Now I am just pointing out all the possible trades here, not because we took them or not because you are going to take them, but because it's going to help you to understand the whole concept of liquidity and where you are targeting. So you could have taken this trade and you could have made like a 1 to 3 and something, but let's delete that now. But you can see that there was a reaction to this area and then it failed. Now, this failed reaction tells me that this automatically becomes liquidity for the next trade. Liquidity for the next trade because this is the last reaction to your internal protected low, which is this one. This is the last reaction to it. There was a pullback above this area, all right, and then there is now a break of structure in this zone. So this is trying to tell you, or the story that this is trying to point is that the sellers are still very much in control, and any liquidity above here could be used as, you know, a continuation trade. You could have, I don't know whether this is news or something, but still the trade survived. You could have entered the trade here with respect to that one now. And if there is any liquidity inside of this area, you can have used that. But since we are using this liquidity, you will have used that as a trade, looking for a 1 to 3 or a break for a continuation to the downside. And you can see this already on its own is giving you that 1 to 3, and the next target was this. Okay, so that guy who asked for GJ, from what we can tell already, you know that there should be a reaction from this low, even though this low is going to be taken. Now, because of the gap that is happening here, I hope that it goes above here. But at least it should give you like a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. I think for a fact that this market should at least retrace back into this area before going back. So first P would be somewhere around here. But you guys know that I like to take my first P at 1 to 3. But at least we should expect a push above this area. Now, if this low wants to be violated, then that will not happen and you lose a 1 hour. Right? Please zoom. I think I can clearly see it now. If I zoom now, it will spoil the orientation. But you should be able to see it clearly now. Right? So this one should at least give you like a 1 to 3. Is it going to give you a moon buy? No, I don't think that's going to happen. But this could most definitely be the origin of the change of character that could push this market to the next target, which is all the way up here. And how were we able to get it? Because we're able to investigate, all these things and put all of them, add 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, and you are able to get yourself to this area. So again, if you were looking for a buy, yes, you can take a buy with respect to this one, but just know that your first target should be, this one because you are still in a downtrend. So if you are interested in taking that GS buy, this is what I think about it, and this is where I think it's going to go. So first target from here to here, after which I believe there is going to be like a little retracement, and if the goal is to create a change of character. So I believe we're going to have something like this, and then a break above this one. Then this becomes liquidity, a pullback below it, and then a continuation forward. All right. So these are the things to expect. If it pulls above this one, there is going to be a reaction. All right. There should be a reaction. After the reaction, and you have a break of structure or a change, an official change of character now for this time frame, which is 5 minute time frame. When you finally have an official change of character, CH, there, then any pullback that it did with respect to this zone becomes liquidity. That is what this drawing is telling you. All right. So this is me exposing everything that I usually do to get all those trades for you now. This is me literally giving you the blueprint of my trade. So the reaction to this one becomes liquidity. Just like the same way this reaction to this one became liquidity to target for this sell, the reaction to this one becomes liquidity for the next big buy. Alright. So this is the projection for this pair. I could be wrong and it will just violate this area. Regardless, if it violates this zone and keep going, it even makes this area a perfect area to look for a sell from for continuations. What I mean is, let's say all I am saying is wrong and I'm a very, very bad data analyst or chart analyst, and this market decides to, just give me like a teaser maybe somewhere to this area and then decide to break this structure to the downside. All right. Then what you will get is a pullback into whatever this thing is and a continuation to our next target. And that is why our bias is always very fluid because it is based on price action. It is what the market does that gives you the sign for what you want to do. So you can see all the possibilities that I think is going to happen on GJ, and these are my thoughts for GJ. If I was going to trade um, GJ, this is what I would do. So let's see if this one is going to get to or is going to play out the way we thought about it. Let's see. It's already playing out the way we are discussing. But let's see what is going to happen at the end of the day. The next one up next, I think it was um the next person that requested was GU. Okay, so let's check GU real quick. But before then, let's add this one to our pair of choice. All right. So G, we're going to be looking at how this trade performs. Based on this analysis, we're going to see what happens, and we'll get back to it. Now, GU, let's see. GDP USD, and that is Pepper Stone. I don't like Pepper Stone anymore. So GBP USD, let's use Forex.com, add that to our. All right. So before we go on to GU, let me quickly check out my trade. That way, I will not be making a mistake. Oh, okay. So that looks good. I have a trade there. This was the entry. And again, like I promised, I am going to explain how I was able to get all those entries that I got yesterday and how I was able to take that $5 Twitter X. Yeah, to see the formation of that whole trade. All right. So yesterday or the day before yesterday, I'm not sure. I am not sure. We had this trade. This is the only trade that I did on the 15th of September, and today is 17th. So that's 2 days ago. That's the last time I actually traded or actively traded. And you guys can see this is the origin of the account of the $5 deposit account. So I made a deposit of $5 to the account, and the very first trade was a loss, a very big loss that took 3.51 from the account, leaving 1.61. That was the beginning, and I posted how it happened. This is how it happened. I was looking for a sell. But I got faked out. I got induced into entering too early. And based on how many positions I was holding, if I decided to hold that trade, it would have survived, and it may or it could have died, but I thought it was not going to survive, so I closed those trade here. You guys can see this arrow. I closed those trade here, and then I entered in a more precise area because at this point it was reacting to the final liquidity. So I was like, okay, it should not go beyond this level. So I entered some of these positions here, and I held that one. The moment it went below this one, I took out some profit and I gave an update on that trade. So pulling the curtain now. This is when I finished. If I go into this now, you guys will see the breakdown when I said updates back to BE with a sprinkle of profits. You can see this is when I got the account back to $6.24. This was the next trade after that, and I wrote this comment on it, back to BE with a sprinkle of profit. The next update was this next trade. The same day, it was not one trade. That's the reason why I was telling a lot of people were asking me that why didn't you share this trade on the Telegram group chat? And I was like, this was 3 a.m. This was not one trade. This is like 5 to 6 trades, but on one pair and on the stretch. All right. So I was just doing after there is a change of. I've just entered new position, and this was the next trade. Um, this was the result of that. From that 5 to something, I took it to 28. Maybe I closed some at break even. That's the reason why this money would have reduced from 6.12 that it was. Because sometimes if I layer a lot of positions, when the market is flipping in my favor, when the market is turning back in my favor, I start closing the ones that put me in the most ridiculous positions. You know, all those first positions that you open and then you realize that you may have entered too early. All right. So those ones I close them, and sometimes I close them in a loss, and that's the reason why this money would have reduced down to 5.58. But regardless, that was the progress. And then up next was this one. This was when I secured some of those profits, and I gave an update about that. This was when I got back into the trade because the trade was pulling back, and I was just getting back into it like that. Go back here. This was the first positions that I had at break even. I saw a confirmation. I entered more position here, and after that, I just continued going on until when I said pulling the curtains here. This was the final one, and you can see the balance is still five. The deposit is still 5.12, right? And the withdrawal was 60. So again, we're going to continue with that same account. That's the same account that I'm taking this trade on. Already on this particular pair, you can see that I've already done like um, a three trade forecast for this trade, for this particular pair, almost a three trade to a four trade forecast. All right. So you can see that I forecast that it was going to go all the way to this one and maybe have a reaction back down to this zone and then a buyback up. And in case you think that that is a joke, this is actually this particular pair on my phone right now. And you can see that I also have a sell limit up there. Alright, I also have a sell limit up there waiting. And that sell limit is also my TP for this trade. And right now this is what I have. What? How did I get to 34? That's crazy. Oh, alright. So I had a commission added. In case you guys don't know, daily agent commission, that those are based on uh, referrals and all those things that I keep doing. So all the link that you are following to click and using my link to get to the rate, these are the things that I earn. All right, daily Mercedes daily agent commission. That is how that came. That's why I'm kind of surprised because I was having 8 point something on the account before, and now you can see that very trade going. So we'll see how that goes. I just wanted to give you guys a breakdown of how I was able to cash those trades that I caught yesterday, and many people were really angry. They were saying I did not share it on the Telegram channel. So again, it was middle of the night, and it was around 3 a.m. I think. I was practicing, and at the same time I was trying to see if I can flip the account. You guys can even see from at the beginning that it was just something about fun. You can see, I think this will survive $5 drop down to 1.6. Let's see. And that is how I just went ahead from there. So again, back to GU. I think that's where we were before I started yapping, right? GU. Alright, so let's see what GU is doing. And let's start from our favorite time frame, which is the 15-minute time frame. Alright, first thing I would like to do is where is a reasonable break of structure? Okay, where is a reasonable break of structure? And looking at all this, in my own case, a reasonable break of structure is a structural break of structure. Structural break of structure. So this is not reasonable. This is not reasonable. This is not reasonable. This is what I mean. Structural break of structure is like this. So there is a structure, a pullback, a structure, a pullback. This is a structure. Now this is a pullback. This is a structure. This is a pullback. So if I want to see a structural break of structure, if I'm looking to see a structural break of structure, especially when there is a trend. So for example, you can see that this market is making higher highs, and the last major break is here, right? The last major break is here. So a structural break of structure in this region will be a pullback that has structure within it. So it's coming down, right? So you go down, up, down, up, down. So you can see now that there is a structure within this pullback. All right. So when it is going down, it is not just a one pullback and then a continue. This one will just be a pullback for continuation. But for the fact that this one did a structure in the sense that you can see here that there is a movement, all right, down here, then it pulled back into liquidity before breaking to the downside, and then it continued. So it did like 1 2 3 touch before it went above this zone. So there is one. I did not even complete everything. You would have started from here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So you can see it had like not just 1 2 3. So this is a structural formation, not just a pullback. All right. So I like to see a structural break of structure. So after that structural formation, then you should take out the top. That makes the low valid. And why I look for structural break of structure is that it now tells you that it has gone to clear some liquidity. Why do I keep selecting this? So it now tells you that it has gone to take a reasonable liquidity. All right, it has gone to take reasonable liquidity within that zone, right? And that is very, very okay because it also have liquidity to target within. But keep picking the wrong tools. That will also tell you that you now have like some liquidity to target if you are trying to, take a trade. Right. So ideally, when the market wants to pull back now, what my mind is telling me is that it should pull back to some liquidity within this area. Premium liquidity will be this one, but just so you don't miss out on trades, we would like to have all that into consideration. All right. So when the market is coming back down, I would like to see at least come to this area. And why is this important? Because this is the final. You guys know that if this structure that I was talking about before, if this structure was to continue going downward, this would have been a high to be protected or a protected high. So the last reaction to that protected high before the break of structure becomes our target when the market is coming back into the zone. So the last reaction, you can see that it reacted to this zone. So if I wanted to take a sell here, after taking a sell with this, stop loss above this or maybe above the final area, because of here. But if you are taking this trade, the valid area would be here. But if you wanted to deceive, you have to place your stop loss there. And probably you will be targeting a continuation of this internal structure that is being formed. But now that it has reacted to it and it has failed, maybe like a 1 to 2, let's see, like a 1 to 2, and then it failed. That is now telling you that everything that is inside here becomes liquidity when the market is coming back. And you can now see that it is again another structural formation is coming back down. Someone might say, but say less, how about this one? Is this not a structure? It is not really a structure because there is no pullback in any of this area. The only reasonable pullback is this one. It only becomes, are you there? Can you hear me? Are you guys not hearing me? Can you not say, are you there? Yeah. I keep pressing with the comment, are you there now? So that's why. All right. It's all good. I thought my mic must have gone because of that question. It's okay. So now all this one are internal liquidity now, right? And this is like the concept. I don't want to bring back all those stories that I've already, like the layman stories that I usually use. You guys remember when I keep telling you about driver stroke passenger relationship and all that? I made most of you understand the concept of liquidity. So now that is how you point out where is reasonable in the market to actually call your POI. So what you see most of the people doing is they come to the chart and they're like, they just see a formation and they boom, they just come. I mean, whether you like it or not, this is a formation. The formation, you can call this a POI. You can even call this a POI. You can even call this one a POI now. And while in most cases you see the market reacting, yeah, exactly. Bus driver, you remember the story, share driver. When I keep saying, as a bus driver, you always know that you want to fill your car with the maximum possible amount of passengers that you need, because that is the only way you make money. So if you are a bus driver or a conductor, that is why you see those people, they will never move until their car fills up, because if they move, it's going to be at a loss on them. That extra position, that extra seats that are inside of the bus is not going to pay them, so they want to fill it up. See the market as the bus driver is always looking for liquidity in this case is the passenger, which is me and you. If you decide to enter the bus at the wrong point, you are liquidity, because you are just going to sit in the bus and let the bus wait or keep you waiting until it's done with looking for passengers. Sometimes they might even turn you around, go back, and like you're entering a trade here with buying intention and the market gives you a sign. All right, so let me use this as an example. So the bus driver give you a sign that it's about to leave here. You put your stop loss here. But then the moment it came here, it tapped in, this becomes a decisional area. This is where he decides, is this enough passengers for me to start moving in the direction that I want to go. So yes, overall direction is Abuja to Lagos, which is coming from down. All right, so we are going to Lagos. But at this point, you're like, I'm on only 5 people dey inside my car. Now only 15 people dey inside my car. And an 18-seater bus. So just last 3 people, I need am. This is where it is trying to decide, or maybe communicating with its conductor. How many people are inside this car? You're like, okay, 5 people. I'm me, I no go fit go. That is what we call decisional area, because it is trying to decide whether the liquidity that is at stake is enough, or if the bus is still full to continue going upward. And that is where the power of whether the trend is strong or the trend is getting weakened comes into the conversation. Because at this point, if the trend is still strong and the buyers are still very, very strong, which means those who are inside the car, all right, are like they are strong. Some of them might even say, driver, is it just 2 people that is remaining? I beg, I go pay. I no want go back. All right, I no want go back. I no want go back, and all that. This 75 is still going well now. What's wrong? Or is it V75 that you're talking about? You guys will calm down, calm down, calm down. Let's finish with one before we go to the other one. Okay? Let's finish with one. Some of these when you tell me to check something, it distracts me from what I'm saying. Or you don't want me to explain too much. I should just be giving you the A by itself and all that. The purpose of this channel is for you to understand the concept, or the what should I call it now? The thought process behind every of my trades, so that you can then decide whether you like the analysis, then you can take the trade. All right. So oftentimes you see me talking a lot. That's because I want you to get what is going on in my mind before taking the trade. That's the idea. So if you see me making an analysis, especially when the comment is something that might distract me from what I'm already saying, just hold the thoughts. Don't worry. Every of your pairs that you send into the comment section, I definitely will look into it before going, or I will give you an excuse why I cannot look into it. So there's no need to rush. There's no need to distract. Let's just keep our focus on one thing at a time. All right. So now this is the point where you don't want to be stuck in a trade like this. I mean, it's a valid low, so you could look for a buy from here. No strings attached. No, like no problems, or no, nothing is wrong with the trade. But just know that if you are buying at a place where it could be considered that the market is overbought, especially when you are already seeing a consolidation, then there is a problem. So now this is valid with respect to this one, all right, or something within this area, maybe all the way to this one. This is valid. It could still give you like a 1 2 3. But overall, if I was going to look for a good buy on this trade, there are 3 places where I see that it should. There are 2 places where okay, let's make that 3 now. 1, 2, and then 3. Why? Because these are the reasonable areas that the market could react from. Another one could be used as liquidity, because this is the only one standing externally with respect to this one. But if the market should tap into this zone, then I expect it to go down to this liquidity. Now, if it taps into this zone, it could use all this as liquidity and be like, okay, I have enough passengers, and now it's time for me to go. All right, so you could use this as liquidity and then start going from there. Just like you could use all this as liquidity and then start going from there. But just remember that any trade that you are taking here, you are still standing above liquidity 1, liquidity 2, which means that if you are in profit, or let's say 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, and you are seeing signs that the market might decide to drop from here, then you shouldn't be too rigid with your trade, and secure when the time is right, or set your trade to break even and don't look back on it, because it is in a dangerous environment. So for GU, is that the market gives me a buy from here or a buy from here, it has not done a change of character even in the internal, so I cannot recommend a sell yet. So for you to look for a sell, I would like to see the market go below this one first, and then I'll use wherever it has done above. Everything that happens between here and here becomes, so if there is a break of this structure, a pullback, and then next target to be the next reasonable zone. All right. So from zone to zone, from order flow to order flow, that is what I will be looking for. And this is my perspective of GU. All right. What is wrong with sellers? You mean my main account? The account has been taken down now. Guys, the sellers account has been taken down. TikTok banned sellers, and that's why we are on this new account. So follow this one, follow this account, and also follow the YouTube page. And make sure you like and support the channel so that we can grow this account back to where it's supposed to be. So the account was at 6K, and TikTok decided to ban it. The only good news is that when I requested for my live to be activated, I don't know if they felt bad for banning me because I did not do anything. All right, I did not do anything. I think it was a general thing. Literally, all the people who go live on TikTok were banned, and that is the reason why these days I have to be doing this from time to time. When I am doing analysis, I have to be showing my face. All right, because TikTok's, I think the complaint was that most of the people that are doing faceless, all those people who will just come and trade, or they'll show winning profits and all that, and then they'll show winning profits and make people want to invest in them. Most of the people who do that, they are scammers. All right, and someone told me that the way to avoid that is to be showing my face from time to time on the camera, and that brings us back to this setup because you guys remember that I have already changed and I've gone to studio, TikTok studio, where I'll be showing my screen. But since they like my face, I don't even know how to even talk about it because on the TikTok video my face was still showing, but for some reason someone just said that I should be doing it like this, where from time to time you guys get to see my face. So this is the face behind the camera. This is the face behind the voice. He's not a scammer. He's just one guy who likes trading. So again, welcome back to this account. And you guys should please support the account so that we can get back to a reasonable number. I mean, with what we are doing, seeing on 100 followers is a joke. And I'm even surprised that I'm able to get up to 10K likes. So please, guys, if I am adding any value to your trading lifestyle, please follow, like, support, share the profile if you can, and make sure to follow this my new backup page because I have to be preparing um, in time. So here is the backup page page. So please follow this backup page that I don't know. I think I'll have to pin the comments through this phone. Let me pin this comment. I don't know how long it's going to last, but the pinned comment is the new backup page. So please give that account a follow in case what happened before will happen again, so that we will not have like a downtime. TikTok is it's a lot of madness. All right. So please help me follow the backup page, and also follow this page if you are seeing this our page for the first time. I will also post a link to all my profile on. I have not edited this one at all, but I'm definitely going to post a link to all our external profiles, like the Telegram and all the family, the community. I'll post a link today. I'll edit the this particular channel today. I'll post a link today so that you guys can follow. For those who are new, we have a Telegram channel. It is free of charge. We have a YouTube page, and we also have a Twitch page that is for the gamers in the house. So you can follow us on all these channels so that if one goes down, we'll still be very much active, and we'll still continue what we are doing. Right now, I am available on YouTube and also on the T app. I don't want to say the name too much because the more I say it, the more TikTok will be flagging my live section. So follow me on those platforms, and you can always see a preview. Like you can always do a replay of whatever analysis that I've done that you missed out. That way, we'll not be repeating the same thing over and over again. So for GU, these are the things that I think will happen, and these are the things that I think I would be looking for if I was to be taking a trade on GU. First of all, a pullback. This is the current rate. It could go above all this, but if there's a push below this one, at some point. If it failed to break this high and there is a break below this low, then automatically we are looking for sells to the next reasonable liquidity point, and this is the next one. So if there is a break below this one, there will be a sell to this one, after which you expect a pullback and then a continuation, and the next target will be this one. That is what you hope to see on GU, and this is the 15-minute time frame. Moving on, let me see what is the next one after that. GU. I'm taking it request by request, so please be patient. Okay, I've done GU, and the next one will be V10-1S. V10-1S. So this trade is still going on well. You guys might be wondering, the guy is in a trade, he's not even bothered. That's how I trade. I don't need to be bothered about the trade, especially when I've already set a trade to break even. And you guys can see already that this trade is already at break even. So all that I need to do now is just to be patient for the trade to cook. So it's already at break even. You go to the chart now, you can see it is at break even. Now, one thing I might also do is to remove that my sell limit that is up there and try to see if the market will even give me a sign, because now I'm seeing a very, very serious bullish intention going towards that area. So I don't want to be caught off guard. So I will delete the limit, but I still have that trade in mind. As you can see, I already have the projection on my screen. All right, I already have the projection on my screen, and this is what I hope to see. But I will delete the limit first because I don't want it to, like come and take me out just like that. And also the TP for this one now, I will have that in mind that that is my TP for a $17 win. But at that TP, I might just be securing some part of the trade and leaving some. So for that, I am going to increase the TP for now to the high of this one. All right, as you can see, increase the TP for that modified. But I'll have it in mind that the moment my first TP or my original TP is hit, I am securing 75 or 70% of this particular trade, just so I know that this trade is no longer a waste of my time, because I've been holding it since midnight, I think, maybe early this morning, at the early hours of this morning. All right, so that said, let's check V10-1S. Volatility indices 10-1S. I hope that is understandable so far. That guy asked for GU. I hope that is clear. So for V10-1X, again, we're on the 15 minute time frame, and what can we see? A violation of a place that we, yep. So the last break of structure on, and you guys can see that I don't care. I don't really have to go and start from the 4 hour. First of all, I will do my you know that if you are if you're on a pair, chances are the first pattern that you are going to spot is on that time frame that you meet the pair. I don't like to leave my charts on 1 minute, 5 minutes, because it's always too noisy. But on 15 minute time frame, if I see a serious structural formation, it's already enough to give me um an idea of what to look for in the market. So on this 15 minute time frame, I can see that the last serious break of structure was this one to the upside. And why is it a serious break of structure? Because it was a structural break, like I've just explained. All right, it's a structural break to the upside, just like I've just explained. A structural break to the upside, which means that, and why is it a structural break? One, break of structure, and all that, and also it came down to tackle liquidity. Alright, tackled this liquidity, respected this low, and even though it was like a contest, at least it still respected, did a change of character somewhere around there, and then still gave you like a serious entry confirmation for you to take a trade from. You guys know that this is our bread and butter. This is our entry formation. This is the drawing that I'm always. If this was not here, you guys will know that I'll have something like this: break of structure, pull back to liquidity, and boom, you have your entry. So if I was here and I was taking this analysis based on this change of character here, sorry, based on this breakout structure here, I probably would have been looking to take a trade like this, especially since it has everything that you want to see on a pair, like literally everything. Template, there's no template here, so it took liquidity. There's internal liquidity to target. As a matter of fact, it went for premium liquidity, which is nice. It is rare, but it happens. And in this case, it did. So it went for premium liquidity there. And after tapping into it, it gave you a change of character, which is like what you like to see, especially when the market is coming at you aggressively. This is one thing that you like to see. All right, so let me just be checking on my trade there. Okay. So this is what you like to see uh, when you are taking a trade, right? So this would have been a buying opportunity for you to enter this market. That is one. Now it went and it completed the mission that you would have sent it, because if I wanted to take a buy here, if I wanted to take a buy here, with respect to this, stop loss would be below this one. First target, of course, 1 to 3, and overall target will be to go and continue the structure. Continue the structure, meaning break the structure to the upside. So this would have been a good one. Now, after that break of structure, of course, your next area that you'll be looking for will be any liquidity within this one, preferably the last liquidity, which will be that one. All right, and that is very, very close to the final loss. All right, so it follows the same order flow and give you what you look for. This is where you'll be looking for a trade from. Okay, and now I can see that there is a violation of all this zone. There's a violation, but remember that even though this one pulled back, it's not like it took out this one as liquidity. It never really went below this one, and it was a contest. A contest is where there is a pullback, but instead of using liquidity and just going. So if you want to talk about liquidity, this becomes liquidity. The tap below this liquidity would have already been enough. All right, the tap below this liquidity would have already been enough for a direct entry. This is what I'm saying. So if you wanted to take a trade just with respect to this one, what you would have done would be this one. That's what you would have done would be an entry like this. That's because you expect that after that liquidity is taken, after this liquidity is taken, it should just start going. But the fact that it pushed so low and almost was the same high, or sorry, the same height or the same level, it was almost on the same level with this low. That is disrespectful. That is like, at this point, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if doing this live is encouraging anymore. I'll just be talking. I like this one now. Just they do something TikTok just one thing. The thing is all these things. Um, come on, man. To maintain to deliver content for TikTok is becoming harder and harder every day. 1 minute, they just keep doing whatever it is that they want to do, right? So it's annoying. This thing keeps taking us back. Them taking down this live section, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. I'm not sure if that guy who asked for V10 is here, but if you are here, well, let's continue from where we stopped. TikTok did this thing again. So guys, please, if you are not busy, please just keep liking the live. Those of you who have flowers can send it through. The reason for that is, look, let me tell you something. The algorithm of TikTok is simple. They want to make money. You guys know that most of these flowers that you are sending to your creators, you guys know that they only give them like 80% or 40% of that flowers, right? Like the real value of that money is down. First of all to buy flowers at a rate that they give to you, and then you send it to the users, or sorry, your content creators. Hold on. I'll give you a suggestion soon. You send it to your content creations, and they will still have to exchange it back to what is it called, dollar or something. So they make a lot of money from the gift, and since in most cases most people just say that forex traders are rich, which might be true. I mean, it's true. A good forex trader should be rich. He should not be looking for flowers, and that's the mindset that most of you guys have. That I mean, he has money now, so why should I give him flowers? But that's the problem. TikTok, we just see that, oh, this person is just taking space on our server if there are no flowers going on, because they don't make money. All right, they don't make money if there are no flowers going on in, like all those gifts that people give. And if there are no lights and there are no flowers, that's just a recipe for disaster, because they will just keep taking you down without warning. You can see the way they just took this one down now without warning, because obviously to them it's like we are just taking space. They have to make space enough for other people who actually uh, are making them money. That's why you see all this big life. They don't have any issue, but little creators like us, we suffer these things a lot. So please, if you have those flowers, don't say that I'm too rich. Send them through. It helps with the algorithm. And if your hands are not too busy, please always like. It's not. It shouldn't just be about asking me to check this one, check that one. I can trade on my own without anybody. You understand? I can just decide to be on my own and just be taking my trades. In fact, if I make more money anytime that I'm not bothered about sharing my signals or giving out to the group. You guys who are in the group chat, you already know this already. So please, if you want to encourage me to be coming live here on TikTok, you people also have a responsibility to make me feel uh, that I'm not just wasting my time. All right. Most of these likes that you are seeing are coming from my girlfriend, who is in the other room, busy liking and promoting. And sometimes, out of annoyance, she also comments and tell you guys that you people should like and all that, because she will just see that nobody else is liking it apart from her. So please and please, I'm begging you guys, if you enjoy this content, make sure to like. And if you have the might to send in flowers, it is necessary. It's not because I really need the money, but because it is necessary for the welfare of, or for the health of this our live trading section. And it's very annoying. You guys have seen cases where they take down my live section and I have to just close for the entire day because I don't feel the need to come back, go back on live and all that. And sometimes it happens when I am doing a very serious analysis and it just takes us back a mile. You understand? So if your hands are not busy, please and please always like you are on TikTok section and send in those flowers if you have the might to. No be only nyash you go dey send those things. Me sef I need them. I broke that. Just send and give me, yeah. So um done. For me, since it has taken all this as liquidity, I could take the trade with respect to this one. Just saying that I could see it as maybe it is here to take all that as liquidity. This one, there is still a little bit of a low down here that can still be respected, as you can see. So this can still be respected. We can use all this as liquidity and still respect this one and keep going. And why is that important? Because look, after breaking the structure, the market never came back to come and take this liquidity. All right. So after breaking this structure, you expect that it will come back and take liquidity. If it doesn't and it keeps going, it makes that low liquidity for future targets. All right. Pay attention. All these things are things that I've studied from past experiences or what I've seen in the market. These are like, it's just like saying this is the character of a particular pair. So I'm not surprised that I'm seeing a change of character after it took all this low as liquidity. And you guys remember from the beginning, I was saying that this is a contest. What you are saying here is a contest because it came just way too close to this one already. Okay. Now you want to wait for this change of character to happen fully. Alright, it is going above it now. On the 5 minute time frame, let's see what is happening. So on the 5 minute time frame, you can still see that even on the 5 minute time frame, what you are seeing here is still a weak, it's still a weak break. All right, and it is reacting to this zone. It's reacting to this one. Okay, it's using this one now as liquidity. So it's using all this one as liquidity and it's reacting to this one, and that means that this one is strong enough to drive the market. This is strong enough to drive the market. All right, this is strong enough to drive the market for continuity because the market is still very much in a downtrend. All right, like it or not, it's still very much in a downtrend. If you are unsure of this, you can wait for it to break this one below. Now, will I take this trade? Of course not. I wouldn't take this trade because it is reacting at a zone, a POI or close to a POI, right? It's reacting at a zone or close to a POI. So yes, this might be like a decisional formation and it might not work out the way that you want. But if you have the balls for it, a sell is even more reasonable than a buy at this rate. Don't see this as a change of character. You guys should remember. Do not see this as a change of character because this one, this whole formation is yet to be broken. But what I would say as a change of character is structural formation. So, for example, after this pullback, after this pullback now, let's say there is something like this. There's this pullback, reaction into this zone, and then there's a break above here. That is where I will now see a break of structure, and this becomes my liquidity to target for a buy. Alright, but for now, this is just an inducement, and in an inducement area, what you often see is only a pullback and the market might just take it out. All right. So if you are looking for a buy for BN1X, I don't think the buy is ready yet. I think it is still trying to, be ready. So exercise a little bit more patience and just wait. This is still very active. Wait for it. This pullback is enough. It could continue going up, but wait for it to go up, break above this area, then use anything that it leaves behind here. All this becomes all this now becomes liquidity. Templates, template here. All this now becomes liquidity. And when the market goes below this one, after the break of this one, when the market goes below this one, then it becomes valid for a buy. But for now, I'll just say hold your horses, chill out, and wait to see what is going to happen. Okay. All right. So back to my own pair. Ooh-wee. This is the one thing that I like about volatility indices. Peace of mind shook us for this side. Peace of mind just shook us for this side. Alright, let's see. It is approaching my take profit one here, and again, I have not secured any profit. It's still the same pair, still the same thing. All looking okay. So at 17, I will take out 15. At 17, I'll take out 15. So if you have any other questions, I think I've been talking for way too long. If you have any other questions, ask your way. For now, someone said gold. I have to be honest with you guys. I am running away from most of the Forex pairs. You guys can see any signal. Where is it? Is it in a volatility? Uh, is it in a synthetic broker? Is it for synthetic or Forex? So we talked about GJ the other time and we made some predictions. Let's see if that is working according to our plan. Wow. You guys remember when we started with GJ, and I'm not sure if many people took it, but this is the trade that we talked about on GJ. It is going flawlessly. It's going flawlessly in our favor. It was right here when we gave out this prediction, and it is going flawlessly in our favor. I did not give out the signal because this was an analysis based on request. So if you took this trade, congratulations to you, that guy who asked. This is already at this point. I will advise you to set it to break even because it has already done way more than you could ever ask of. And yeah, I like that movement on GJ. So let's see how it's going to react to this zone. If it's going to break it, fine. If it doesn't, but remember, take some partials when it gets to this level. All right, take partial, take partials.
Yes, to this level.
All right, take partials when it gets to this level and wait for what is going to happen. Just like I'm waiting for this one to, I might actually take some partials now because I don't like where it is reacting to. It's reacting to this low, so I'll just take some partials now on my volatility indices, and let me do that live for you guys to see how I take the partials. You guys can see that it is 0.1 lot, right? So if I go there, I lift it to 0.08, that will give me almost $10, but I want more. Um, so I will do, I cannot take, this is the thing about this, I cannot take 0.08. I don't think I can do that. Can I? Oh, oh, so I actually can. Oh, that's nice because if you want to open a position of volatility indices, the lowest position that you can open is actually 0.05. So I didn't know that you can take partials and leave 0.02. That is a good new discovery. So I took some partials here and I'll put my box around it now. Proceed. I just made $9 off of that trade for a 1 to 3, which is nice. Because I was just thinking just $2, maybe $3 or something. Yeah, off of that trade. So partials taking. Waiting for what the market is going to do now with respect to this area, but I hope to see something like this here until we get into my zone, give me a break of structure, and then we look for a sell. This is what I am hoping to see in this area, but I've secured partials just so I don't give back to the market what the market has already given me. All right. So for synthetic right now, I am still waiting for the market to get here. So if you have your account ready, just keep it ready and maybe risk some certain percentage of that account when I am entering the next trade. But uh, for now, there's really nothing. There's no trades that I can recommend. This is the one I would have recommended, but I entered based on limits this morning. I did not send out the signal again because you know I didn't think it was necessary at the time, right? Because it's also the night. But I think I will be sending out all the signals now, regardless of whether I believe it's going to work out or I believe it's not serious. Because I see that most of the trades that I took, that I felt like, let me just leave these people out of this one. I took the risk on my own and it worked out. And when I post it in the group chat, many people are furious. They're like, why didn't you send the signal? But there are sometimes when you send a signal, it end up in a loss. And the reason for that is because you are experimenting something new. It is not, I only give out trades that follows the complete rule that I've already set for people in my Telegram channel or for people in my community. We have a rule that guides our trades. So I only give out trades when I see a trade that fits all those criteria. If I don't see those criteria completely, I might decide to take a risk on my own. But I'm not sure if other people will be able to understand. All right, so sometimes I just take these trades and I take them on my own, and it's like I don't want to give out the signal. No, it's because I don't feel like you can comprehend. Plus, if it is on live section like this and you see me doing the analysis, you can easily just get in. It is on live section. But if it is offline, when you don't see me making that analysis, then most people might just want to be asking all those questions. Why are you taking a trade here? Why are you taking a buy here? And all those things. So I don't know if I just have to give it all the signals, regardless of whether I think it's a low probability or a high probability. You guys will decide. I've been very, very picky with the signals that I give on the Telegram channel so far. But if you stick to my Twitter page, if you are on my Twitter page, then definitely, if you are on my Twitter page, then definitely you will see everything, because it's like my Twitter page is like documentation of whatever it is that I'm doing, documentation of whatever it is that I'm doing. So anything that I do, regardless of whether I post it as Signal or not, is always available on my Twitter page. So maybe you should. Bro, I don't know how I can help you with that. I don't know how I can help you with that. Maybe you should stay active on the Twitter page. All right. Maybe you should stay active on the Twitter page, because I obviously cannot be sending it to your DM, right? Or the Telegram page. But again, I've just explained to you why I don't send some signals to the Telegram page. Some of those trades are not high probability in my own opinion. So I don't want to give you something that I cannot explain why I did. And even though I have an explanation, it should be an explanation that I can be proud of, because I don't want to come and form. So I mean, just find a way that you can be getting those signals. But I promise everyone that is going to be dropping on Twitter, and I've been updating every bit of my trades on Twitter. So you do yourself a favor and you know try to get yourself acquainted with those trades there. Okay, so now gold is looking like it is giving a change of character, but let me investigate what is happening. It is reacting to this one here. It's reacting to this zone. Okay. So what you do is, you see that particularly that Twitter. I like to play around when I'm on Twitter. Like I like to um update every move that I make on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, just send the post notification if you like the signals or if you like the trades that I did, particularly the V75 one. Just turn on the post notifications, and anytime I'm finessing, I call it finessing because, just like I said, not all trades are high probability trades. So sometimes I just see a setup and I'm like, you know what, I like it, I will go for it, I will risk this amount of money on it. So, but if you're on Twitter, you should definitely see it. On Twitter, like this trade that I'm on now is on Twitter. Go and check from the beginning, it's on Twitter. So right now I'm just chilling. There are no analysis questions, so I am just here chilling and waiting for the trades that are what? No, it's not ending. It's still there. It's still there. Just one on my phone. And in most cases, again, what many people don't know is I give a lot of signals here. I give a lot of signals based on analysis and what people are asking of. But oftentimes, when I am actively trading, I'm trading only one pair, or like at a time, I'm trading only one pair, because it's easier to follow the storyline when you are trading just one pair or two pairs at the same time, right? So if I'm on Forex, I'm like trading only gold. If I'm on um, synthetic, I'm trading just one pair in synthetic. Like right now, you can see that I've been dealing with V75 for a few days now. All right, I've been dealing with V75 for a few days now, and I have not really taken a trade on any other volatility in this pair. All right, I've not taken a trade on any other volatility in this pair. So that is something to have in mind. And that is how I trade. Let me update the Twitter page of this one, because this is a trade I gave out. Yes, I posted yesterday. So this is the progress, and I may have secured that profit way too early, but it's fine because it gave me $9, which is 1 to 3, and that is already enough. And again, you can see that just like you that said that you are broke, I am also broke. If I'm not broke, why am I trading with $9? But this is that $1 account that we started or that I started a few weeks ago, and it's still going. The $1 account that I started a few weeks ago. And if you guys don't know the origin of this account, check the previous trade before this one. Alright, so I think it should be after this one. I think, where is this trade again? I go back to my profile. I go back to my profile. Let's see. And prepare for this and stuff. That should be the trade. I'm not sure I'm not sure if I updated that trade, but yeah, started this account with $1 and so far so good. For the past how many weeks, we don't make better bag from the account. I think I should have made almost $100. I made a deposit, but the deposit was still from the profits that I made on the $1. So I guess it's still the $1 that is going, and that deposit was $5 on the 15th of September. That's 2 days ago. So we are still growing, we're still going, still going, still adding up to it. So funds is not always the issue; it is a skill. All right, balance is not always the issue; it is a skill that matters. Copy link. Let me go and update my Twitter page now. So this is the current trade. I'm updating it right now. Paste gap. Let me also take a screenshot of the trade. There. Partial staking. Okay. So go to partial staking. Go to my Twitter page. I just remove my phone. Then I comment this and this. And copy the link here. I just sent an update about this V75 trade. If you go to the Twitter page, you should see that. Alright, so let's see. And this trade have that post. It also have the trading view link so that people can check it real life on trading view as it is moving right now. You can see that everything on my chart is captured on that trading view post, and it is moving right now and there. So this is what you get to see if you're on the Twitter page. This is how I update my Twitter um, page with whatever it is that I'm doing on any trade that I'm currently on. All right. So set your notifications, set your alerts. That way you don't miss out. When I'm entering, I'm telling you the reasons why I'm entering. I'm also sending screenshots, and that would help with the entries. All right. So like I said, if you took this trade based on that analysis that we did, and I'm sure my clothes are ready. Okay. Yeah, calm. So let's see, regardless of what we think is going to happen, just know that also there should be a reaction to this area. And like I said before, that even if this market is going to continue going up from here, I expect to see this pullback. It doesn't matter if it is here or above that. I expect to see a pullback. It is this pullback that is now going to be your liquidity, just like I've drawn here. Is this pullback that is going to be your liquidity for a re-entry if you are planning to take this trade. All right, if you're planning to take this trade, so that is the reason. It is always good to have a projection, not just one. Trading is like snooker game. It is not your current trade that should be your problem. It is your next trade, because understanding your next trade after this current trade is key. Why is that very important? If you are already projecting for your next trade, it makes you to dissect what your current trade should be doing, and that should give you a realistic expectation on your current trade. All right, maybe that's not clear enough because this is a very very serious topic. Let me explain. Should be my face on the show. If you dey take the I want to explain this thing. If you dey take the trade wey you wan take now, you suppose don picture wetin you dey wan do with your next two trades. Because from analysis, just like what I've been showing you so far, you guys can see that on the chart that I posted about this current trade that I'm in, I am already projecting like two or three more trades in the future. Does that mean that these trades are going to be the way I projected? No, 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 no. That's not the point. But the point is, me seeing that is just to tell you that it is already registered in my mind that this is what I expect. Meaning, my target for the current trade will be realistic because I cannot be looking. Look, I cannot be looking. Where is it again? Let me quickly show that. So I cannot be looking for a sell here and then I will not take profit when I'm seeing some reaction to this area. That helps me to decide my realistic expectations on every trade that I take. So with this projection, it doesn't mean that I'm going to take this trade, but it is telling me that this is what I expect, which means that if I'm taking the trade with respect to this one, then at least I should be safe or I should find a way to be safe while I am doing all of this. So having a prediction for like 2, 3, 4 ahead, like you can see on this GJ trade that I just analyzed for that guy, after giving a signal for what I think would be a nice trade, already I have an expectation, an expectation for the next one, and that's the reason why you see this here, something like this, that there is a possibility that this is going to be a trade, and if that is a trade, I expect that I should come down to this area. It is a one-to-one, so I'm not interested in that sell. If I'm going to be taking a sell, I would like to see a serious confirmation. A serious confirmation might be something like this happening internally. All right, a break of structure after tapping or clearing my liquidity. A break of structure that will tell me that the market might be wanting to sell. So having expectations while taking any trade is very very key. All right, it's something that is very very important when you are taking trades. So have that in mind. And these are like the expectations that I have. And that's the reason why you see me taking partials where I took that partial because it was reacting to this other block. You guys remember that we use liquidity because I mean if you are using liquidity, it's like you are entering at the most discount or most premium levels in the market. All right, we are using liquidity. We are using liquidity above there. You are entering at the most discount. You don't expect any other, like you don't expect the market to be going after anything after this area. That's why liquidity is the best one to use. But in most cases, we have seen that it reacts to another block and it just keep going back. So the market could react to this other block and just dump. That's the reason why having seeing that I already have like a 1 to 3, it is only greed that will tell you to keep holding, keep holding. You can just take like 50% or maybe 60% or even 80%, like in my own case, what I just did. Because the market was giving me $12 and I took out $9. That's like 75 to 80% of what I was already having. Now the market might decide to go to the moon from here. I don't care if you decide to keep going forever. I am not going to beat myself up for not holding the entire trade. What is most important is that my account is secure, and by taking the 70%, I've managed to get myself a 2.5 RR. If I was using RR to measure my success, I've already secured 2.5 RR. And with 2.5 RR, I can take two more trades without affecting my original balance that I started with today, or without affecting my original balance overall. Whatever it is that I'm going to take today, the next two trades, I can be assured that it is coming out of profit. It's going to still hurt me, it doesn't matter, but at least I am maintaining the welfare or the livelihood of my account. It is your capital first. You first need to secure and make sure your capital is not in jeopardy or whatever. The capital is not going to, make you not take the next trade. That's what is most important. So that is what we have right now, and based on those projections that you see me having to the future, it's only just going to help you to know where to set your realistic TP or stop losses and all that. So again, G you see struggling, and you can see again it is struggling with what you call an OB. The liquidity is still standing above. So if you have a trade in in GJ, this is the type of thing that I just explained. This is where you will want to secure some, because at this point you will have probably been at like the 1 to 2. At this point that it is right now, you've been how do I keep touching the wrong thing? So at this point, you probably be looking like the 1 to 2. All right. If you are looking like the 1 to 2, if you don't want to if you don't want to take profits, you can actually just set BB, because reversing from here now tells you that this low is going to give way. If you reverse from here, that means this high is strong and is going to take out this low as a weak low. That is why you want to secure some profit, and then wait for the next opportunity, just like I'm doing right here on this pair. Okay, I just wanna have fun. So how is it going on YouTube? Jeez, I've not, I have not checked the comment section of YouTube ever since. I'm sorry, my YouTube people, eh? Then I no vex, I no neglect you now. How can I join on this Dawood Sharif on this V75? When was that comment? I wish there is a way that I can bring out the comment section of YouTube and make it pop. Chat filter. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Probably would have been frustrated now. So let's see what this is going to do when it gets to this area. At the moment I see, again, since it never broke the low, I will not do a direct entry. I only do direct entries when there is a break of structure. So since there is no break of structure, what this is telling you is that there is a high chance that this market is just going to take out the high. There was no break of structure to the downside, so you don't enter with direct entry. Instead, you wait for a character formation here, then a break of that character, and then a change of that character, and then you can look to take a sell with respect to that change of character and with respect to this high that you are considering a strong high or a zone. So those are the things that will help you to be selective with which trade you go in directly or which trade you hold on to. I say gold gold is reacting to this low, which I think the low is like this one is standing at the middle of nowhere. I understand that there's a lot of liquidity here. For me, I'll just consider this as a break of structure, and I'll be waiting for the market to pull back into. For me, I'll be waiting for the market to pull back into this one, giving me a change of character somewhere around here, and that will give me a trade to target to this low, because it is yet to get that low and it is only reacting to this area. However, after this is done, there is a high chance that the market might react to this one. There's a high chance that the market might just react to this one, use this as liquidity. Alright, let's actually use this one. There's a high chance that this could happen here, in which case you look to get into a sell. Right, if this happens there, you can use that to get into a sell. Quick sell could happen here, or you can use a direct entry somewhere around here. If if you have the boss for it, you can use the direct entry and target the low, or at least target the lower liquidity. Okay, target the lower liquidity. That alone will give you like 1 to 3. But let's see how it's going to react into this box, and that is what will give us, you know, either here or here. These are the places where I see uh, reason for a trade. All right, it is coming from the outside of this formation. It's coming from the outside of this formation, so ideally, I would expect it to go to the premium liquidity. But if it doesn't and it gives us a change of character here, there is no harm in looking for a trade with respect to that. But wait for that confirmation before entry. All right, let's see. So it is pushing very well so far. We took, I took, I took that profit way too early, I guess. Took that profit way too early. There, still pushing, but we'll see how it goes. My TikTok no come back me again. Abi. V75 has been doing me like, you guys remember when I was talking about V75 and I said it's a wife, side chick, and a girlfriend relationship, where V75 got mad at me for switching to Forex temporarily, because when I started this whole going life of the thing, I had to be trading gold for a while because I know gold is one of those pairs that people just want to see you trading. You know, everybody that just come, what's going on gold? What's going on? Just like what Hase just said, everybody wants to see you trading gold. It wasn't something that I trade regularly, but I started trading it because of that demand for gold. And the moment I started trading forex like that, um, my volatility indices started shaking. Yeah, it started shaking because I took a lot of losses. Like, it was not as if I was trying to bring back forex into synthetic. It was as if I was trying to bring forex into synthetic, and it was messing with my trades. I had to separate the two of them because obviously they are two different categories of asset class, two different categories of asset class. So I had to quickly, like reassess myself, and I went back to trading as usual on volatility. And now I guess that we now have our relationship is now back. I mean, girlfriend, boyfriend, we fight, but we are now back. And that's why we are making all that money that we are seeing on volatility indices. That's the story behind making all the money. Right? Again, I have explained that the reason why I am showing my face from time to time is because I don't want TikTok to come and take down my account again, thinking that I'm a scammer. Scammers do not show their live on their face on TikTok. All right, when they are showing all those signals, when they are showing all those big profit that you are seeing, they don't show their faces on the camera. So someone suggested that I should be doing that, like showing my face from time to time, and that is why. So anytime that I'm not doing analysis, or anytime that there is no question that I have to answer, anytime that we are monitoring a trade and we are just chilling, we can have a discussion, a face me, I face you, one-on-one discussion where we get to talk about things. It could be psychology, it could be understanding liquidity, it could be understanding zones, and I can even take out that time to make you understand those stories that I used to tell. You know, those driver, passenger, blah blah blah, all these crazy things that people tend to not understand. I can use that time to I can use that time to explain better. That's what I mean. Alright. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, especially if it's a question about psychology. A lot of people want to always ask, how do you enter a trade and you're not bothered about the trade? How do you manage this, that? If you have any of those personal questions that is not analysis related, all right, if it's not analysis related, anytime that you are seeing me show my face on the camera, feel free to feel free to ask the questions and then we get to discuss, because forest I guess is like 20% analysis, 20% understanding what you are doing, but the major part of actually winning in forex is psychology. And the reason why I delayed, or the reason why I paused before saying psychology, is because many people have said it like that before, but not many people actually explain how that works. When you talk about psychology, it's not about something that you can just read, like you just read it and you feel like you are going to understand it. No. Guys, please let's not forget to like. We still have about 8 people in this chat. We can easily hit 5K. Alright, let's not forget to like, and I don't want TikTok to ban the live section either. Alright, so please let's not forget to like. You can see that I keep checking on the chat from time to time, simply because there could be that notification on the screen and I'll miss. So again, what I was saying about psychology is not something that you can just read from paper, or somebody will just tell you about it and instantly you just start feeling like you know what you are doing. Psychology is self-control. Psychology is how do you keep yourself under control, or like when different situations in the forest market are hitting you, how do you maintain composure? How do you stick to a particular proven strategy when, even though it seems like it is not working? How do you bring yourself to that realization that it's either you are strict with your strategy and your whatever it is that you believe in, or you mess up and count on luck, which it is not guaranteed. Luck sometimes can give us the best trade. Luck sometimes can make you win a lot of money. And what that does is that it keeps you in this loop of thinking that you are always going to get lucky. But let's be realistic. How many people around you have won the lottery in recent time? That is where luck is, because it is so random that you just have to there just have to be a way that God wants to bless you for you to win a lottery. I mean, there are like 5 million people that are contesting for the same thing. So what is the odds of the hand going into that selection and picking your name? That is where luck comes in trading. You cannot come to trading and start playing luck with trading, because if you have to count the number of times that you have to wait on luck to win a lottery, you probably would have lost all your inheritance in trading. Eh? It's your problem now. You don't understand and you don't keep quiet and see the time. Okay, this is already my aunt. Eh? Vex. But tell me now. I'm not saying that the year. But anyways, like we were saying, when it comes to luck, yeah, the chances of you making a good amount of money, or a consistently good amount of money in forex before your account run out, when you are trading with respect to luck, when you are trading based on luck, is so much that it's just like the chances of you winning a lottery. Just like I said, you might play lottery all your life and you might not win one. Someone might come to the first day that they will even buy a lottery card, they might win it. That is where luck comes in. So in trading, you have to trade based on something else and not luck. Right? So in this case, we have strategy. How proven is your strategy? If your strategy is proven to work, then you can at least work based on that. But it's not just strategy. You still need to bring other things into place. Your edge, your strategy should provide you with a reasonable edge. So, for example, I already have my entry criteria, and you guys know that your own duty as a technical analyst, your duty as a technical analyst is not really about coming to draw lines on the chart. Your duty as a technical analyst is to spot patterns, reputational patterns, patterns that you can easily see anytime you're about to take a trade. So, for example, if I open my chart now, even before I draw those little fancy lines that you people see on the chart, even before I draw all these crazy fancy lines that you are seeing on my chart, I am already seeing my pattern. I'm already seeing my entry. I'm already seeing what I want to see in the market. All right. So drawing the lines is just like a reaffirmation of what I am already thinking in my head, what I'm already projecting that is happening on the chart. All right. So drawing them is just to have a pictorial view of what I think is going to happen or what I think might happen. All right. So now combine that with your edge. And what is edge? For those of you who don't understand, edge is the number of trials that you have. You know how you see a bed and you want to shoot at it. If the bed stays there for like three trials, you have a higher chance of hitting the bed. But if you shoot it and one time after shooting the bed flies away, there is a chance that you might not see that bed again. See your edge as that. All right. How many times do you have to fail before you can win? And how many times can you? Let me not say with you. How many times can you fail before a win? And after that one win, is it enough satisfaction for you to say, oh, this is enough, this is still good? Like, I took one win after three trials. Am I still going to be very satisfied with my performance? That is your edge. So, for example, if I have to fire two stones, or at the end of three stones, I managed to kill one bird, is this one bird worth my three stones? Now, imagine if I have to buy one stone that I'm going to use. Obviously, we don't buy stones, but just imagine if I have to firing one catapult is going to cost me 5k, and I have to fire three times before I catch one little bird. At that point, is it worth it? It's not. So you answer that question. If I have to fire three expensive 5k stone to kill one bird that is not even worth 5k, is it worth me firing the stone? That is just assuming that stones are precious and stones are something that you buy. So see you taking a trade as firing a stone. But in this case, your stone is your money and it is expensive. And if it is expensive, it means it is going to hurt you if you lose it. So now, how many times do you need to fire the stone, and what you are going to get in return? What you are going to get in return for firing the stone? Is it worth the price of you firing those expensive stones? That is what you need to tell yourself, and that is like the layman explanation of edge. So you need to have the edge, and in this case, our edge, based on this my own strategy, is 1 to 3. So since I am targeting a 1 to 3 RR anytime I'm taking a trade, I can lose more than 4 trades in a row and I will not be bothered. So let's say I have $100. Yeah, I can split that $100 by 10. And with this my $100, I can decide to use $10 per trade. Knowing fully well that my edge is saying that at least in three trades, based on how well I have been able to spot my pattern, in trades I should make at least 1 or 2 wins. And sometimes on a very bad time, you could go as high as 5 trades and you will not have one single win. But that is where selecting your trades, that's another story for another, you know, for a deeper discussion. But you select your trade so that at least you are able to get one trade in every 3 to 4 wins. And how is that important? It's important because following that your edge story that I've talked about before, if I have one trade in every four, if I have one winning trade in every four trades, that will still put me at break even. My account might not be growing, but then I am at break even, which means I still have an opportunity to take the next trade. To take the next trade. Now imagine in 3 trades I make one win. 3 trades, 2 losses, one win. That one will give me 3x. I'm still up 1 RR or 1% of my account, considering, let's assuming that I'm using 1% all right, on my account. So that is where your edge and your strategy comes to play. All right, those are the things that you need to combine to give you that peace of mind. It is only when you can confidently take a trade, knowing fully well that you are not going to lose all your capital. That is when your psychology can now be calm. So when people are just throwing around this idea of psychology without really talking about what it really means. Psychology is not something that you can just talk about and then you feel like, or you read about it and then you feel like you just get it. No, it's something that your experience and the risk capacity or the risk level of what you are doing has to come together before you can have a developed mindset or a developed psychology. So those are my a little bit of advice for those who are wondering how is it possible that some people can take a trade, like Dapo Williams now can take a trade and hold that trade for 3 months. The trade that almost took him for $25 is approaching 400 million now, according to him. I don't know how true that is, but I want to believe that is true. But what I want you to learn from that whole story or that whole scenario is that at least he is strong enough to be seeing all that money go up and down, and he's still very much active and not doing anything stupid. All right, how can you handle yourself under pressure? That is the real definition of psychology and how it affects you as a trader. Check V75. Is it just V75 or V75 1x? Because if it's V75 1x, that's exactly what we are on right now. All right, if it's V75 1s, that's exactly what we are looking at right now. Your profits are small but consistent. That's the most important. Dosh, look. If it is consistent, you are doing better than that person who is making 400, 500, but it's not consistent. Trust me. If you are making $50 daily, if you are making $20 daily, if you are making $10 daily. As a matter of fact, me right now, I'm targeting $50 daily, and it might be a little bit confusing. You'll be like, this guy, but you are doing so well, and why are you not making a lot of money? Yes, that's because my capital is not in the range where I should be expecting to be making Lambo money from the market. You can't be throwing $10 in the market and be expecting $500 back. It is unrealistic. All right. But let's imagine that I keep going consistently and I'm making 10 to 40, 10 to $50 based on the capital that I can currently afford. Let's say I keep making 10 to $20 and I keep building myself and eliminating all the little problems that faces us as traders. You have money in your trading account that you want to trade for long, but then you just take a step backward, and the next thing you need to pay for electricity bill, you need to sort some family issue, you need to do one thing or the other. All right, all those things combined together might affect your trading account. But let's say with your daily $20, $10, it doesn't matter how much you are making. So far it is consistent and you are able to gradually eliminate those natural problems that comes with life itself. For example, food, electricity, house rent, and all those. You are able to keep doing it little by little, and eventually you are able to get over all those things. All you need is scaling up. So if you're trading with $100 before, let's say you're saving every now and then you are saving $50 and adding to that your $100. Before you know it, your $100 becomes $500. From $500 now, instead of targeting $50 per week, you can now be targeting $200 per week because now you have enough. So instead of risking $10 before on that same trading setup, now you can risk 25, maybe 50. You understand? And with 50, definitely, if you are doing the same thing, let's say you are risking 10 to make $30 before. Now that you are risking 50, you are risking 50 to make 150. So you can see that automatically, even without changing anything in your trading strategy, your profit has improved. And who knows, you can maybe after a while, like me now, I'm planning to buy some funded accounts again. Sometimes 2 years ago, I put a stop to buying or trading funded accounts. my own personal funded accounts. Right, 2 years ago I put a stop to them. That was around, was it 2 years ago. Yeah, that was around when my Forex funds and the funded trader went offline, when they ran away with people's profits. All right, so I stopped trading funded account for that reason, because I wanted to. That trading funded account made me realize that if you cannot work with what you have, like your $9, your $10, your $100, whatever it is that you have right now, that it is depositable in the forex market. Whatever it is that you have right now, so far you can deposit it to the forex market. If you cannot work with it, trust me, that big money that you are looking for, even the funded accounts that you are looking for, you are going to blow it. So after losing that my those accounts, and it was not my fault, it was because of those people running and scamming people. After losing those accounts, I made it a fact that until I know I can consistently trading, all right, until I know I can be consistently trading even with the smaller money that I have, I should not be looking for funded account, because I mean, even after passing, they still took their accounts, because you have no control of the funded accounts. You don't know what their intentions might be, and some people might be lucky, some people might have it for a long while, but then it's just shits that happen. And ever since then, it helped me to focus on my refining my strategy and understanding my strategy even more, because I keep struggling with my little account. And so yeah, I can tell you that I'm consistent. And with the money that I'm making, the little money that I'm making, even though it's not much, I just know that it's with time. And if I keep doing what I'm doing, it's only a few, like more improvements that I need to do, and I'll have large enough amount. And with large enough amount, I don't really need to change anything in my strategy. I would be doing the same thing, taking the same risk, but with larger capital, which means I make larger profits. That is where consistency will help you. That is what I think, that if you are making little profit, just stick to it. It's not a bad thing. It's a very, as a matter of fact, it is one of those things that many people don't know how to do yet, and is going to affect their trading very much. So you doing it, kudos to you. It's a very, very good thing to have. V75 is the next request. I did not forget. Don't worry. I talk a lot when I'm explaining some of these things, because it is very important. So let's see. V75 again is the 15-minute time frame, and from what I can see, I saw that there was a break somewhere, or there was a push above this one, which means this low is regarded as a strong low. Alright, anything below this area should be regarded as a strong or contendable zone. Now it has tapped. After tapping into your POI, what you want to see is it needs to go above. Alright, it's either you take it by direct entry, or you wait for confirmation, right? And the confirmation for this one will be the market going above this level. Alright, if the market goes above this level, or at least actually it should be this one, it goes above this level, it shows change of character or whatever, right? That was the first step. That one got violated. The moment you get violated, you move your line to this one. This becomes your new structural high that you would like to see violated. Now it could violate this one and react to this formation here. To violate this one and react to this formation from here to here, and then still keep going down. But violating this one already shows you that there should be a trade. And since it's coming from a zone, so let's say you wanted to do direct entry. If I wanted to do direct entry on this trade, if I have a large sample space like this and I want to make a direct entry, what I do is I use the order block. Since there is no liquidity, I'm not sure if you can see the liquidity on the 15-minute time frame, but since we are making this analysis on the 15-minute time frame, I just want to do the analysis based off of what I'm looking at on the 15-minute time frame. It is when I am done with my 15-minute time frame analysis that I'll now look into, like, on the 5-minute time frame, to see if there is reasonable liquidity that I can see. And you can already see that what you might not be seeing on the 15-minute time frame is actually the liquidity that you would like to target here. And on the 15-minute time frame, what that would look like is the order block, the last red candle. You can see this last red candle. This tells you that anything from above this last red candle or the liquidity you're looking at the 5 time frame is good. So having that marked out, I can now see that the first direct entry will be where the market taps into it. Stop loss below the zone. This is your first entry. This first entry is only valid with respect to this internal structure because the market can still push down from here and start going. All right, the market can push down from this level and continue going, right? So when the market is there and you are seeing a reaction, secure some and you know secure some and hold the rest. But again, let's investigate. The market is coming from outside, right? It's coming from the outside and it's also coming from the outside of this formation. You guys remember that when there is a break of structure, like we have always said, when there is a break of structure, you expect that the low should be respected because that makes wherever the market is reacting from a protected low or a protected high. So there's a protected low here that should have been respected. And now how is it protected? It took care of all the liquidity, took care of all this liquidity internally before. No, not again. More, well, I go rest. We'll continue from that one later. I don't know. TikTok, my own job too much. So I'll just explain this one on YouTube here and then I'll just take a break and we'll come back later. For anyone who missed out on the TikTok, just check. I will send a notice to the continue the final part of that analysis on YouTube. Alright, so I just sent a message to the Telegram channel about why I will not be live again on TikTok for today. I will be live maybe later in the night, but I don't want them to come and flag the TikTok. So I will just continue this analysis on YouTube and here on Twitch. So if you missed out, you can check the last part of this YouTube or just do a rewind on YouTube and you should be able to get what we are talking about. So yeah, back to this. Um, Now that it's reacting to this area, I can take a trade here based on direct entry. And then the target for this one, since it's coming from the outside of this, we want to take the last liquidity. Also, this one becomes the decision area. It would have been an area to look for a sell from if the market was still inside the internal level, alright? But now that it's coming from the outside, what you do is you look for it outside, alright? Which means this becomes all that becomes liquidity. And this is what many of us are not checking that is making some of our trade lose terribly. Alright, so all this becomes liquidity. So I still go back
So who is
on my YouTube now.